Hello. Thanks for agreeing to set up this interview. As you know, we only have a short amount of time, so let's go ahead and get started right away. Now, I know that you've been involved in some work on community issues. Can you tell me what attracted you to the community issue that you chose at the beginning of the semester?
Certainly. The community issue that our group chose, and more importantly, that I really wanted to do in the beginning, was texting and driving and other related incidents that involve texting and driving or distracted driving. And it was a pretty scary thing when we started looking up facts and certain things that coalesced with accidents, crashes, and any other related injuries that happened during texting and driving. And it was what called me mostly to it because we go by it every day and we see that people are texting and they're driving or they're distracted or there's multiple things that go on in our everyday lives when we're driving, and it's the key thing that causes accidents. When we were doing our presentation or when we were talking about it, it was one of our main factors to keep telling people over and over again it's because they were texting and driving, or it's because they were distracted. That's what really set the tone for our speech and for our excuse me and for our actual presentation itself, to tell these people and tell the kids that it's not okay and that we need to do something about it.
Okay, thank you. Now, your materials also said that you were involved in a community issue team project that focused on a call to action. Can you share with me what call to action your team put forward and why you chose that call to action?
Of course. So our call to action was mostly, um, to sum it up briefly, because there wasn't really an exact iteration, it was how can we stop people from texting and driving and keep distracted drivers off our streets? And that was the main call to action, was just to inform people and then ask them how are they going to stop, how are they going to react if they see people who are distracted or who are texting and driving, how are they going to react to those certain qualities or aspects in their life, and what are they going to do to put their best foot forward, and how they can really make a difference in the world and help keep the rate of death down to a bare minimum, hopefully zero, by the time we fully realize what we're doing wrong. And just keep on asking them what are they going to do, how are they going to change, and how are they going to change the lives of others.
I see. Now, if I were to ask the other members of your team what they think your biggest strength is, what do you think they would say, and why do you think they would say it?
Thinking on that, I think the main thing that people would say is that I'm a very talkative person, and I love to ramble, but I guess they would say that I have a good connection with the people in the audience, and that whenever we're giving presentations, I tend to go more towards the audience style rather than stating off our facts on our speech. I'm more direct with them, and I'm like, "Hey, how are you doing? How's it going? I want to hear from you guys." And that's the main quality that I have, that I think I have, and I think my group members would also agree with, is what I do with the audience rather than just telling them and seeing what their reaction is before I go on. It's more one to one being myself and then the other one the entire audience, not just going up to one person constantly berating them like, "Hi, how you doing? How's it going?" And doing that sort of thing where it's just very awkward. It's more everybody's involved, and even to the group mates, I'm always looking to them to see if they have any input before I go on, even though it's not what they're going to be talking about later on in the presentation or whatever we have planned.
Okay, great. What for you was the most challenging thing about working with your team?
I think the most challenging thing to work with my team specifically, not going to name names, they know who they are, but they didn't really put much effort into it, and it was sort of difficult because I had to do all the work, and it wasn't necessarily the greatest thing that I had to deal with. because it was me doing all the work and that I had to figure things out and what was going on, and it wasn't the greatest. So I think that would be the biggest weakness on their part, is just them not cooperating, not doing anything, not getting back to emails. I mean, it was pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. Sorry, the Wi-Fi went out, so we're just waiting on that.
Thank you. Okay, last question. In 30 seconds or so, tell me what your biggest takeaway was from Com 110 this semester. What will stick with you and be useful to you?
Well, I think my biggest takeaway from Com 110 is that I learned a lot more than I thought I was on public speaking, and I can't really pick one certain aspect. It's more like all together and just being there and learning the stuff that I needed to, because there was multiple things that were going on, and there was persuasion, there was informative, there was just all thrown at us, and it was a lot more to take in than I thought. But altogether, I think it gave me a lot more tools than what high school would have given me. So it's just been nice to go along for the ride, I guess, and just take it all in rather than just going at one certain aspect and doing that for an entire semester. It was multiple. And I think that's my biggest takeaway.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. We'll probably be in touch with you in the next few weeks or so. Take care.
Thank you.